the reaction to RFK, which was pretty wild. And, he's a pretty serious underdog. But the blowback was wild to see. And specifically about vaccine stuff. And then, the Peter Hotezes and all the people that say that he's dangerous. I'm like, come debate him. And they did not want to debate him. I wanted to have him on because of his book, because I read The Real Anthony Fauci, and if that book is accurate, first of all, if it's not accurate, how is he not being sued? I think it is accurate.
What a book.
It's a
book.
I cannot recommend that book enough, but I also should say that it's very depressing. And I listened to that book in the sauna. So I was particularly tortured while I was listening to it, because I'm listening to it. It's 185 degrees in the sauna while I'm listening. And I went for days where I had to not listen to it. I just listened to fiction because I just didn't want to absorb it all. When they're talking about what they did with foster kids in New York with experimenting vaccines on them and how many of them died, it's
Did you
horrible.
get angry? Did you get the rage? That's what I got. Yeah.
Furious at the regulators, furious at the people that allowed it to happen, furious at Fauci, furious at the psychopaths that were involved in this. It's horrible, and it makes you reconsider everything. I know a lot of people that were, and me myself, were staunchly pro-vaccine. Said vaccines are one of the most important health innovations in human history. And now I look at it differently. Now I look at it like I don't think they're honest. I don't think they're honest about everything. I'm not saying vaccines are bad, but I'm saying I do not think they're honest.
Yeah.
I don't think they're honest about the side effects. I don't think they're honest about the repercussions. And I think there is a massive interest in making money. And the more vaccines you give people, the more money they make from them. The fact that there's this immunity to prosecution, all that is crazy. The fact that none of the 72 mandated vaccines have gone through vaccine safety trials, have not gone through double-blind, placebo-controlled studies. It's terrifying. And when he talks about that, and Fauci says that's not true, and then he asked Fauci to give him the information. He said, I'll send it to you. And then after a while, they had to admit it doesn't exist. There are no safety trials for the mandated vaccines for children.
And you ask people, have you read the book? Why would I read it? It's a conspiracy theory. I wouldn't want to read a book by a guy like that. I said, if it's so wrong, if you go on Amazon, I don't know how many reviews it's got, Jamie, right now on Amazon. That book, Fauci's book's got 30,000 plus reviews. He sold a couple million copies. And it's not like he went through Simon & Schuster or Penguin or anything like that, right? And
word of mouth.
Yeah. So how come no one's investigating him? How come no one's questioning it? How come no one's tearing it apart? How come no one's sitting there saying, when I first bought the book, I think it's like 600 or 700 pages. I'm like, dude, I don't have time to go through a 700-page book right now. Then I made the mistake of start reading. There's 5 more pages, 10 more pages, 20 more pages. Yeah,
23,800.
That's insane.
Yeah, insane.
That's
it's 5
insane.
star. Look at it. It's 5 star.
Yeah, that
How
is
many
unbelievable.
books are 4.8 stars that have sold millions of copies?
Ridiculous. Yeah. So. By the way, what do you think about Mark Cuban? Because I know Mark responded, and he said what you guys are doing is exactly what mainstream is doing. That whole exchange with Mark.
Yeah, he also advertised his drug company in the same tweet.
Yeah.
Out of here with that. I know about his exchanges with Ravivora and the young journalist, and the different exchanges they've had back and forth. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. I don't think he knows what he's talking about the side effects. I don't think he knows what he's talking about, the dangers of myocarditis, the idea that it's like nothing and it goes away quickly. It's not true. No, I don't think he's accurate. I don't think he's right. I think he has a vested interest in his position. He's had that position for a long time, the position of mandating vaccines for his players. I think, that's his place. That's his stance. I don't agree with it, but, I've met the guy before. I like him. I liked him when I met him. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I communicated with him in the past about other things. But I think, he has a very specific mindset.
I think the left, that's a good candidate for the left. If they want a guy like that, I think they'd be a good candidate for him.